6.4 multiplying integers. So our learning target, what you're going to be able to do is that you can describe and use the rules of multiplying integers. How do we represent multiplication? So we can say 5 times 6 equals 30. So you can use the x, or you can use the dot, which is 5 times 6, and then you can use these parentheses, which means multiplication, and it says 5 times 6, which is 30. So we are going to be focusing mainly on using the dot and the parentheses now. You're not going to be seeing the x anymore. So how is multiplication like addition? Remember, multiplication is just repeated addition. So if I had the 5 times the 6, that means 5 groups of 6, okay? And the groups are equal, so they're equal groups. So that means I have 5 groups of 6. So that means I have 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So 6 plus 6 is 12, and this would be 12. You can put parentheses around here, right? So 12 plus 12, and then plus 6. So 12 plus 12 is 24, and 24 plus 6 is 30. Okay? Express each multiplication as an addition problem. So this says 2 groups of 15. So that just means 15 plus 15, which equals 30. This means 3 groups of -4. So that means -4 plus -4 plus -4 equals -12. We're not going to watch the video, but you are more than welcome to watch this video. Just type it in. Rules for multiplying integers. Okay, so here are the rules. If they are different signs, the answer is negative. What I mean by that is if it's a positive times a negative, you're going to get a negative answer. If it's a negative times a positive, see how they're different? It's going to be negative. Okay? So if they're different signs, the answer is negative. So what is 6 times 4? It's 24. Since it's a positive times a negative, my answer is going to be -24. Here I have a negative times a positive, so that means my answer is going to be negative. So 5 times 7 is 35, so -5 times 7 is -35. So next is the same signs is positive. So if I have a positive, of course, times a positive is a positive, and that's what you've been doing, right? But if I had a negative times a negative, that's going to be a positive, right? All right, so 2 times 6, that's just 12. 10 times 6 is 60, but a -10 times a -60, so a negative times a negative is a positive. So this would be 10 times 6, which is just 60, okay? So let's go ahead and I want you to practice these problems. Okay, so I'm not going to give you the answer, but we will go over these in class. You should have gotten a negative answer here. This should be a negative answer. This is a negative times a negative, which is a positive, right? And then you have a positive times a negative. So a positive and a negative, so your answer is going to be negative, okay? Here you have a positive times a negative, so this is negative. And this is times a positive. So a negative times a positive is a negative answer. So check to make sure that you got those correct. Did we get all negatives here? My goodness. Crazy. All right, let's look at this word problem. A submersible is diving from the surface of the water at a rate of 90 feet per minute. And diving, I'm thinking that he's going down, right? What is the depth of the submersible after 7 minutes? So first of all, does it diving refer to going up or down? Oh, we said down, right? What integer represents descending 90 feet? It's going to be negative, right? Descending means going down 90 feet. For how long is it descending? 7 minutes. How can you find the depth? Is it going to be positive or negative? Well, the depth is going to be negative because it's going down. And it's going 90 feet per minute. And we did 7 minutes. Okay? But it's going at a rate of going down 90 feet. So it's going to be negative 90 times 7. So just 9 times 7 is 63, right? But 90 times 7 is 630. And then it's going to be a negative times a positive, which is going to give you negative 630 feet. Now you have to answer in a complete sentence. So what is the depth of the submersible? So you're going to say the depth is negative 630 feet. And that is your final answer. And that's it. So when you multiply a positive times a positive, it's a positive. A positive times a negative, that's a negative. And a negative times a negative, that is a